Yo, 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 what's good, people? You already know it's your guy Roth. We up in here for the Roth Talk podcast. We doing here with my guy IRKO. I'm about to invite him in real quick. Multi-platinum award-winning engineer. I'm getting him in here. I'm about to send him the invite right now. I just want to thank everybody for pulling up, supporting the Roth Talk podcast. Hey, I had to run through IG today, but I'm gonna be later on be rocking on Zoom, giving Zoom links on how to join. I got my guy just pulling up, so we about to get this interview in real quick. So IRKO, send me that invite, my guy, to join, and we're gonna get this thing cranked up. So I appreciate everybody pulling up. Appreciate everybody pulling up. Yes, sir. Go. We're about to get this thing cranked up. There he is. My guy. Hello. What's going on, IRKO?
Hey, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I know you're a busy guy. So thank you for taking the time. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to join me, man. How you been?
Great, man. What's happening with you?
Hey man, hanging in there, man. Still running clubhouse streets. Still trying to get some things together.
I love
Yes,
it.
sir. But I had to get you on the Roth talk. You dig me? Because you be talking that talk, IRKO. So you know what I mean. Yes, sir. I just got a few questions for you, man. I ain't gonna hold you long. I know you got some sessions and stuff you working on,
Yeah,
so
man.
you know what I mean. I ain't gonna hold you long, but I got my questions, so I gotta pull my questions out for you, man. So, IRKO, just really quick, man. Let the people know about yourself. Let them know what you do. The bow tie. Just let them a little bit, about who is IRKO.
Oh, for sure, for sure. You already know I'm gonna hit you with the elevator pitch. So here it is. My name is IRKO. I'm the music industry most beloved bow tie wearing mixing engineer. That's the elevator
That's
pitch. 4 seconds.
fourth.
No,
That was the
okay, but
quickest pitch.
there, yeah, there's no, yeah. I mean, I mix records every day. I like to think that music that has been engineered properly brings out the best intent for the producers, the songwriters, the singers, the musicians, anyone that has been involved in the song, right? And so that's been pretty much my goal in life for the past 22 years or so. I've been trying to make sure that my clients receive the best treatment for their music so that their fans can enjoy in the best form possible their composition. And then if along the way we get plaques off of that, hey, I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Getting them plaques. You already know. Now, what made you want to get into engineering? Like, what was it about engineering that just made you want to hop into that lane?
Unlike a lot of other colleagues of mine, I found a passion for music because of audio, not the other way around. It's usually, like you
Mm,
got a band or something and you need to get the sound better, so you mess around with the mixes or whatever the case. And then
yeah.
that's kind of like, it's a fascinating topic, so that's how you kind of get into it. For me, it wasn't like that. For me, it was audio first. I remember as a kid playing around with the EQ settings on stereos and whatnot, and then eventually that passion, especially for the bass, that was really like a big fascination for me then, like it is now. And I found that hip hop music, specifically boom bap hip hop from New York back in the early 90s, had the biggest bass, like bigger than anything else in my country. I grew up in Italy, right? So back over there, there was no hip hop music. So
Right.
finding these like huge records with huge bass, I'm talking about Busta Rhymes, Nas, EPMD, all of that stuff, right?
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
the low end was undeniable, and so that's what attracted me to music, and even more so to hip hop. But mind you, then I didn't speak English, so to me, all
Mm.
this music, all these rappers would sound like ba 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 ba. I didn't know what they were saying. I didn't know anything about the culture. I didn't know any, like it was just music sound to me. Then eventually, of course, I started, I learned English, and I understood the culture and the beautiful, the beautiful culture that's around hip hop music. And of course, I've been a guest at it of it for 20 years now. So that's how it kind of started.
Wow, man. For you not to learn English at all, but you felt the vibrations, you felt the tracks, you felt the bass. So for you being in Italy, all the way in Italy, getting vibrations and just making you, like you said, messing around with the stereo. And that's kind of how I got into production. I just accidentally got into it. But no, man, I got some more questions for you, my guy. So
Sure.
what advice would you give an up and coming engineer, since you've been doing it for over 20 years, which makes you an expert? What advice would you give someone who is just getting their first Pro Tools or Logic and wanting to do what you've done thus far?
Well, there's a bunch and really no suggestions or things that I can say to a young, somebody that starts in the music right now. But the number one thing will be pretty much obvious. You gotta love music for the music. And then, of course, all the business, the industry comes along with it, of course. But you have to have the biggest love for music, because everything around it might, matter of fact, will chew off of that love, because
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. It's an industry, that's why it's called that. And so, of
Right.
course, with that comes a lot of politics, a lot of commerce, the money thing, all of that stuff is difficult. So if you do have the biggest love, the biggest passion, and you're ready to dedicate your life to music before the
Mm-hmm.
business, then of
Right.
course everything else will come easier, not easy, just slightly easier.
Yes,
And
sir.
so if you can focus on that, on your craft, whether if that's guitar playing or songwriting or rapping or making beats, whatever the case may be, really, if you do it with the love, uh, any check that comes in, any plaques, any success is just the cherry on top, which is not what's making you do this. It's the music that's making you do it. And then if great results or success comes off of it, that's fantastic.
Hello. Hello. That's what I'm talking about. Man, that's some great advice right there, Erico. Now, I also, speaking on the engineering, I definitely want to tap in on that. Can you think of like what was the hardest track for you to engineer? Like it just took you a couple days, couple weeks. You just like, I can't get it right. Like, do you remember that particular track?
Ever in
Yeah, out of all your years, is there one track that sticks out in your mind? Man, this track took me forever to get right.
I can think of one that happened about a year ago at this point, maybe less than a year, and it was a heavily produced song that was super long in time. I think it was like a 5-6 minutes kind of song, and it
Mm,
had different sections, and each of these sections did not relate to the one before or after. So really, it was a number of songs stitched together where the drums didn't really have anything in common between different sections and stuff. And so, of course, anytime you vertically add data to the mix, there's a whole set of other variables that need to be worked with and handled, right? So the more tracks, the more time, and it's difficult. There's been some of those situations, of course, where the overproduction of tracks is very detrimental actually to the final result. In other words, you can have a very long movie with a bunch of characters and stuff, but now if you have thousands of them, the who's watching this movie is gonna get lost in who's who now. Who you need
mm,
to have a lead actor, right? And that's kind of
right.
like the same thing in music. If you have too many ingredients, it's very hard to pinpoint what you're actually tasting. And so
Mm,
that is the most difficult situation when there's a lot of data that I gotta handle and manage and dispatch to the attention of the listener. That's a little bit of a difficult thing. So that kind of goes. I don't know if I can tell you. I was thinking about that one particular song, but
hmm.
that's usually the case on any song. The less is more in audio, because we have a finite space that we're working with.
Hmm.
If you give me three elements, ideally they could take 33% each of the spectrum, right? So 33% of the attention of the listeners are also going to go to each. But if you have
Hmm.
100 elements, now only 1% is going to be allocated to these instruments and therefore heard. Now, of course, I'm simplifying things here, but you
Right,
kind of get an
right.
idea of what that means.
Oh man, that's I hear that a lot from a lot of engineers. They say, "Hey man, you got too much going on.
Yeah.
This is clashing. The snare is clashing with this is more." Well, just to kind of bounce off of that question, do you remember like what's like? your best tracks you just so proud of? You're like, man, I can't believe I mixed this. You know, do you have a particular track that you're just super proud of that you done?
Yeah, well, I would say that pretty much every mix that I do, because I spend so much time on it, I'm at the end, I'm super proud of it. And in fact, if you follow me on online, every time a client of mine posts something that I mix, I always like share it with everybody. So I'm very happy about it though. Oh, that being said, obviously when I see the big records that I do having hundreds of millions of streams, that of course is like, okay, that little knob that I turned has been heard by 100 million people only on this platform. That's amazing. That's a fantastic feeling. Just like when I walk into a store or a restaurant and the song I mix is on the stereo, on the system or whatever.
Yeah,
That's amazing too.
man.
Another interesting thing is when somebody that I've never met before, somebody that is new to me, they're like, "Oh, I heard you mix this and that, and I heard it, and it's amazing." And this person basically has heard my work before meeting me, and that's flattering, of course. I love that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, man, you've already been doing the great things thus far in your career. I really feel like you got so much more to go. You know what I mean? You got so much more to do, IRKO. So congrats on everything you got going on. But let's talk about that studio, because I cannot wait to go to LA and, come pull up to the stew. Let's talk about that. And then, let's hear about it, man. The progress. You got a date in mind, and, let the people know.
Yeah, man. I've been working on the construction of this facility for years now. And just to get you like a plan, like a scope of the timing, when I first came to this country 15 years ago, I knew I was going to eventually have my own spot. Didn't know where, didn't know how, didn't know what it would look like, but that was like the seed of the idea, right? And then fast forward, I finally found this lot that would fit with what I was trying to do in 2016 at the end of the year. Bought it, started the process of getting the team together. So the acoustician, the architect, the engineers, and all that stuff. That took another year and a half or so. And then maybe less than a year and a half, but it was a long process still. And then going through the city to get the permits to build, that's a whole thing. That was another year and a half.
Sheesh.
And then we started the actual construction about 14 months ago. So for 14 months, I've seen, trucks of all kinds coming and going, from, dirt leaving out the place to tons of concrete trucks coming in to pour and so forth. Now at this point, we are at the stage at which the building is finally completely finished. The structural of everything is completely finished. We're about to start working on the interior, which has been fabricated, not only designed, but also fabricated in Rome, Italy. And so it's been on a boat, and it's gone through the Mediterranean, Panama, the Atlantic Ocean, Panama, and then the Pacific Ocean. For 6 weeks, it's been floating on the water.
Wow.
And it just actually got here in Los Angeles last week. So now,
wow. Sheesh.
yeah, to open up this, imagine that it's 2 containers. So it's like you met 2 16-wheelers of shit. And this thing is going to get delivered soon. And that's when we're going to start working on the interior. So I don't have an exact date for the grand opening. I would like to think that it will be done before the end of the year. But who knows? Of course, you'll be the first one to know when the thing
Hello.
fits.
Hello. IRKO, man. I've been watching you on YouTube. Real quick, just plug your YouTube in, because that's where a lot of the progress is. So you can go on to YouTube and check it out. So
Yeah.
let the people know about your YouTube really quick.
Yeah, I've been documenting this whole thing that I was telling you about, because I figured it was going to be an interesting thing for the birth of a studio to be witnessed by, my friends online. And so, yeah, just put IRKO on YouTube, just like any other social media, it'll pop right up. And I have about 30 episodes of this studio being, conceived and, developed and built. So definitely go check it out. It's kind of like a mix of HGTV and audio nerd stuff and bow ties. It's like a whole thing. So definitely go check it out if you get the chance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, man, IRKO, I just want to thank you, man. We got a few more minutes. I know you got a session to run to, but you have been part of one of the biggest albums of 2021. which is the Donda album. So congrats to over 500 million, probably at a billion. Please, we got to talk about it. A lot of people I told you was coming on the show that said, ask them about how was it. Did you go to the stadium, or did you mix it separately? Can you give us a little insight, and then how you felt like the overall product was with that album?
Sure, it was a fantastic experience, still is. I did go to the stadium, yes, in Atlanta. I spent about a week or so there. Then after that, so that's where I started the mix, right? And then after that, I moved to a studio in Atlanta again. Did maybe 3 or 4 days there, and then I took everything back here to Los Angeles, where I finished the album. And yeah, about a month ago, I sent it into Universal, and literally the next morning, on a Sunday morning, I wake up to my phone red hot from notifications. And yeah, the thing is, it's been out for about a month now, well over 1 billion streams worldwide. So that was incredible. And
Man, whew.
yeah. So that was amazing. And yeah, no, it was a great experience. The vast majority of the album mixes, as you hear them, are pretty much my mixes. Even though there were a ton of people involved, I was given huge freedoms to mix whatever. Once yeah, he gave me very specific directions on what he wanted or not wanted. Then everything else was pretty much me. So it was great. It was great. And working with genius is always very interesting, very demanding, but at the same time, very, very interesting. And so
Yes,
it was a
sir.
great experience. I loved it.
Hey, real quick, I gotta ask you because 24 is one of my favorite songs off of there. Did you put that effect over the choir, or you know what I mean, or was that Ye's doing, or can you just give me a little insight on that?
I don't know who pitched it down, but I received it as is. I did it
Okay.
EQ and mix it and everything, but it was already pitched down like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got that. Look, I'm glad I asked that because, man, I'll listen to that this morning, and I just love, man, I love the fullness. Man, I was like, IRKO killed that, my guy. So, again, man, thank you, IRKO. Again, any last words before we get, close out?
Well, no. I think you should plug up your clubhouse activities because that's really cool what you're doing.
Hey, well, thank you. Look, y'all, it's such a gentleman here. But yeah, hey, for anybody who's looking, who don't know, make sure you pull up to Music Networking No Egos, my club I host on Clubhouse. That's actually where me and IRKO met. So, man, I mean, we've been hanging tight ever since then for months and months. So he is a solid dude. Make sure you support him. And that's all I'm gonna say about me. It's about you, IRKO. So give us a little last words, and again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, definitely stay tuned on my YouTube series about the studio if you're interested. And we're gonna do parties and things like that at the place when it's done. In fact, I've done one just the other day for my birthday. So stay tuned with me. If you're in the LA area, definitely say so. I am making this place for the LA community and specifically for the music community, actually worldwide, since it has given so much to me. So for once, we're gonna have one of us that owns and runs a studio in Los Angeles. So that means that we can do so many things. So definitely stay in touch with me on social media and whatnot.
Yes, sir. Like he said, it's my bad. One of the engineers running his own studio. Like you said, parties, man. I can't wait. I'm so excited, man. I'm pulling up. I'm gonna be there, support you, let people know they need to come to LA. If they come to LA, this is the spot you need to come to. You know what I'm
Give
saying?
me a
This is the
call.
spot. I'm gonna make sure. My guy. But again, check out IRKO. Google him. He got a bunch of work out there. Work with a bunch of amazing artists. So again, IRKO, congrats to that. Happy belated birthday too. I seen you with the lighted up bow tie. So I see you out there, my guy. So enjoy enjoy your birthday month, man. And again, thank you for your time. And y'all, this is the Roth Talk podcast. We're gonna be doing these more. I got some more dope people pulling up, but I gotta get my guy IRKO on here. Much love and salute to you, my guy.
Ross Scenes, thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to link up with you in real life also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, man, y'all make sure y'all follow IRKO. Hit him on Instagram. Hit him on Clubhouse. He's everywhere. And make sure you follow Roth Talk Podcast too, because this is where exactly it's going to be going down each and every week. I'm going to have so many dope people pulling up. A lot of my homies are super dope. So again, I'm just thankful to have people like you, IRKO. I can't wait to do some work with you as well. And hey, we out this thing, and we appreciate y'all. This has been the Roth Talk Podcast, where we talk that talk, and we're going to continue to talk that talk. Make sure you tune in next week, and I thank y'all, and we out. Peace.
Take care, man. Thanks.
Yes, sir.